Hi friends, welcome to page 703. We're going to start talking about bar graphs. So a bar graph uses different heights of bars to show you the number of answers in a set of data. So this is a data set. A data set is where you collect all the information about something. It's usually collected in numbers. So Milo collected information about birthdays. He surveyed 5 grades of students. So here are the 5 grades, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, to find the number of May birthdays. So he recorded the data. Again, that's his sets of numbers, 5 and 3. Those are all his data points in a tally chart. So he tallied them with dash marks. And we're going to display the data in a vertical bar graph. So the first thing we're going to do is draw and label the rectangles. So they've drawn a rectangle, and we're going to label the sides and the bottom. So the bottom will be your grade in school. So you're going to show where the 1st graders are, the 2nd graders, the 3rd graders, the 4th graders, and the 5th graders. And then the side is going to be the number of students. And Milo decided to put it in 2s. So this would be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. You could have done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But then you'd have to label each line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So for this one, we know that even though there isn't a 5 mark in between 2, 4, 5, 6, even though there's not a 5 between 4 and 6, we know that halfway between 4 and 6 is 5. So we know that these 1st graders are 5 because it's up to the middle mark. It's not quite up to 6 yet, but it's not at 4. And so let's go to 1st graders is 5. And if we go over here, 1st graders, that's 5 tally marks. So then we would look at the next group. This is 5, 10, 11. So they put it up right past the 10 to 11. Same with 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So we are going to be working on bar graphs for these whole sets of pages. So let's look at the next page. So this one is showing us how data can be displayed horizontally. So this chart is going to go across the horizontal. So it's going to go side to side. We're going to see the bars go long ways. So Desmond surveyed his friends about their favorite sport. So he's looking at their sport and their tally marks. And he's going to display it horizontally. So he drew a rectangle. He labeled the bottom number of friends, the tally marks. And then the sides are the choices, the sports they could choose from. He titled it Favorite Summer Sports. They gave the graph a title. He chose a scale, so he's going by 2s as well. You could go by 1s again, or you could go by bigger numbers depending on your chart here. Like here he has, his biggest is 10 and his smallest is 4. But if your biggest was, 45, you would want to maybe make your scale a little bit smaller because 45, if we're counting by 2s, would be all the way over here. So if your numbers were up to 45, you might want to start with like 10, 20, 30, 40, and then 45 would go right in between. But his numbers are lower, so he could just shorten them by 2s. And then he drew horizontal lines to match these numbers to the numbers on the bottom. So now we're just going to practice. So display the set of data from example 2. So I'm going to go up to example 2. Here's my data set. This is what I'm looking at in a vertical bar graph. So they want me to change it into vertical. So I'm just going to be looking at these numbers and changing it to vertical. They've already labeled my sport choices on the bottom and my numbers on the sides. So I'm going to go to tennis and see that it's 4. So tennis has to be up to the number 4. And then swimming is 10. So swimming, and I'm just making rectangles, is 10. And baseball is 5, 6, 7. So baseball is 7. So I'm going to go up to 6, and then 7 is going to be halfway between 6 and 8, and then biking is 6. There you go. And then you're just going to do the same over here. You're going to make a bar graph for this. You're going to get to label these parts. So you're going to have to label how many years you want it spaced out, and label what is the side over here, animal lifespans, and then give the graph a title. So they're starting to give you more spaces to fill in on these parts. And then they're going to give you a chart to look at and ask you some questions about those charts. See if you can figure out some answers using a chart. And then your homework pages, the My Homework pages, are just more practicing making, filling in charts, and answering questions, and then seeing if you know what a bar graph and a scale is. Remember, the scale is how many spaces you choose between each number down here. So the scale is 2s, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And that's 703 to 708.